Hello and good afternoon, my fellow golf ball addicts. We are diving into a triple review today, and we are tackling the 2025 Srixon Z-Star lineup. A lot of you have really been excited for this one. Let's dive right in. All right, as always, please like, please comment, please subscribe, all that good free stuff. It really helps the channel out a lot. The more you guys comment, the more the numbers go up. It really is the truth, and I appreciate all who do it. Thank you so much. Also, if you do like this content, we do have a membership that just starts at $1 per month. That just helps me provide more content to you guys, allows me to have a little bit more flexibility with the channel. So if you decide to do that, I appreciate you as well. So Srixon, there are a lot of you out there who are, well, I guess I just say it, fanboys. That's the nice way to say it, and that's probably the appropriate way. Srixon was high on my list a few years ago. And I love them a lot. They actually made a tour ball that was really good for the average consumer. It had a bouncy ball, explosive. It really felt like no other tour ball. It was different. And then last year, you know, they kind of firmed everything up. They made some changes. I didn't like them. They didn't perform great. I didn't get a lot of spin with them greenside. Durability was, I think, a really good bright spot for them. But as far as performance-wise, they were hard. They were clicky. I just didn't care for them, and I was pretty harsh on them, and rightfully so. If a golf ball doesn't perform well, it doesn't perform well. That's all there is to it. Now, if you're a faster swinger, you're a pro, maybe it is good. Maybe they were great. I don't know. I'm not, so I didn't know. All I know is from the average consumer standpoint, they weren't great. Actually, they weren't even good. But you know what? This is a new year. Srixon took the feedback. They came out with a new model this year, and they promised to be better. And a lot of you have also told me that they're better in the comments. You've said it's softer, you've said it plays better, and you love them, and they're just the greatest thing since sliced bread, and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, we're about to find that out, okay? So we're going to test these, we're going to review them, average swinger standpoint, but also we're going to see, does an average golfer have any business playing these? Most tour balls, the answer is no, but Srixon's had that history and past of being a yes, so I'm still holding out that maybe they can come back. So let's dive in here. We have all three models. We have the Z-Star, we have the Z-Star XV, we have the Z-Star Diamond, and I've actually always had a soft spot for the Diamond, but all three of these lineups basically, you know, they're all tour level balls, but they all do different things. In fact, if we look at this chart right here from Srixon, as you can see, Srixon is very clear and upfront about what these golf balls do and who they're for and what they're made and designed to be. That's awesome. A lot of golf companies have gotten away from that. The fact that Srixon is still doing it, I love it, seriously. Starting with the Z-Star there, you can see that the compression is 88. It has a softer feel, mid-flight, and then distance, most of it, but what it's all about is that green side spin. It has a good amount of iron spin, but it is all about the green side spin, so we will definitely see that. All right, so if we look at the Diamond now, it has the compression of 100, which is actually less than the XV. That's kind of interesting. The feel is soft, not softer, but soft. Mid-high flight, so we'll be sure to check that out as well. Distance, again, you know, not the most distance model. It's supposed to have the most iron spin, but it doesn't have as much greenside spin, but it is close. So interesting there. The driver spin also is a little higher than the rest of them as well. This one does not come in the divide. It only comes in the yellow and it only comes in the white. So kind of interesting they chose not to do that, but still. Then we get over to the XV, and the 102 compression is pretty insane. That's high. You know, compression numbers definitely, like I said, don't mean what they used to, but that's high. I mean, even for the average consumer, that's going to be really hard to compress that. Flight, mid-high again, so you know both the last two are supposed to be mid-high. This one's all about distance though. This one is, hey, it is supposed to go the farthest. That means it's probably firmer, but that's okay. Iron spin most of the way, greenside not as much, driver spin low. Okay, so again, I love all that, right? So I don't have to put my graphics on the screen. I can just show that. That tells you everything you need to know as the consumer, and it helps narrow down your choices. So that's really good. All right, and let's touch on price real quick of these three golf balls. So these come at an MSRP of $49.99 a dozen, which for a AAA tour ball is not bad, actually. I mean, it sounds high when you say it out loud, but however, you know, at $60 a dozen for the TP5 and $60 a dozen for the, you know, the Pro V1, $49.99 is actually, you know, not a bad deal when it comes to that. But Srixon runs twice a year, a great deal, which they're running right now as I'm filming this actually, and that's the buy two, get one free. They usually run it during Father's Day and then I think like Thanksgiving, Black Friday or something like that. But basically you buy 2 dozen, you get one free. That brings them down to $33 a dozen, so that's pretty darn good. Yeah, if you get them for that price, I mean, I don't know how these are going to perform, but if they perform even halfway decent, you can't beat a AAA tour ball for 33 a dozen. You just can't. And look at the success PXG's now had just from putting their ball at a great price point, like 35 a dozen. It's awesome. I mean, we want value, and so good job there. The $49.99 is probably going to turn somebody off if they're not on sale, but hey, that's when you stock up, right? Okay, let's start with the Srixon Z-Star. Now, as you can see, I'm going to show you two models. This is what the basic one looks like right here. Pretty bare bones design, black lettering. You know, that's how you can differentiate it. Is it's going to be just the plain black, no color in the number whatsoever. Looking on the alignment tool of the regular model there, that one is apparent for all three golf balls. It's not a good alignment tool. I don't like it. It doesn't help line your golf ball up. In fact, here, I'll show it on the diamond just so you can see. Not very good, right? But here's the thing. This is where Srixon makes their money. Is this, of course, is what their divide looks like. And if you're someone who likes a good alignment tool, the divide really is one of the best you can do. It's basic. Just put two different colors on the side of the golf ball and boom, you got one. There you go. Now you know. This is available on the regular Z-Star and the XV. The diamond, it's not available on, which I'm kind of disappointed. So if I wanted to play the diamond, I would have to put, you know, I'd have to draw a line on there or something like that. I wish they would bring that back just to have it as an option, but it is what it is. The way you can tell the XV is the red lettering, as you can see from right there. It'll have a red number, and that lets you know it's XV, whether it's the divide or the regular. And then if you come over to the diamond, it actually has a gold lettering, which I really like a lot. No one else does a gold lettering, and that's very unique. When I see that gold lettering, I immediately know it's a diamond, and that's great. And then if you look on the side of the diamond as well, it will say Z-Star, and it will have a little tiny diamond. That's how you can tell it is the diamond model also. So, you know, it is a bare minimum design, but it's tried, it's true, it gets the job done, it ticks the box. I do wish they would do a couple of, you know, limited editions a year. I know they just came out with an American one, but it's just like the lettering is red and white or something like that. Like, I wish they would be a little more unique with it, you know, like maybe not a Vice level, but, you know, something like half of what TaylorMade does, you know what I mean? Something unique, but it is what it is. It's not about the design, really. It comes down to performance. So let's get out to the chipping and putting green and let's see how we do around there. All right, so guys, we're gonna start with the Z-Star, then the XV, then the Diamond. I'll be honest with you guys, I got a good feeling about these. Oh, wow, I can't believe that golf ball stayed on the green. Really good checkup. Unreal. I thought that golf ball was gonna be gone. I thought I put way too much on it. Nope, stopped on a dime. That has got some bite. Unbelievable. Gonna try to get this one to go left. Yeah, baby. Okay, let's try a little nasty cut with this one. I love it, that's fun. One thing in particular about that golf ball, the buttery feel off the wedge is one of the best I've seen, one of the best I've tested. I love that. Let's get to the XV. Nice little low spinner. Oh wow, shot left. Didn't have a lot of backspin, but I think that's because I mishit it actually. More please. Incredible. Real quick, the feel is buttery just like the regular Z-Star, but there is a louder click. You can probably hear that on the microphone. I want you to listen this time. This one I'm gonna try to get it go left, but listen for that click, but that's the only difference I see. Oh baby, just so much bite, so much rotation. Shot right, I love it. Yeah, there's so much checkup. Wow. But what I'm really surprised with is the soft, buttery, just beautiful feel that Srixon has done. I thought for sure the Diamond was going to be, you know, firm and clicky and traditional. No, guys, it's soft. It's like making love to a golf ball. It's just, I can't describe it. Wow. All right, this one's going to go left. You know, it's been a while since I had that much fun testing on the green. What Srixon has done They've created a masterpiece here. They really have. I'm not exaggerating. The feel across all golf balls is pretty much the same. They're all soft, buttery, crispy. I mean, just exactly 10 out of 10 how I would want a golf ball to feel. And the fact that they got that across all three of those without making one clicky or, you know, traditional firm, I don't know how they did it, but wow, I'm super impressed. The amount of spin on both of them, I'll show you the numbers here in a second. I'll just put on the screen right now. As you can see from that, it's just really impressive across all three golf balls. You know, whether you're a gamer of the regular Z-Star, the XV, or the Diamond is for you, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get really good performance feel across the board. There's not a lot of negatives here, guys. I'll be real with you, there just isn't. I can't think of any. Let's get to the putting. I hope it's just as good. All right, so we're gonna start with our mallet putter with the Z-Star, the regular. A lot of you have told me that I've been cutting my putts, and you are correct. You can see I love this camera angle for that, so I'm gonna try specifically not to cut my putts, and let's see what we're working with here. Oh my goodness. Little left, that's okay. Just a little short. Wow, it doesn't have as much spring off. I'm used to a lot of value tour balls that really have a lot of bouncy ball effect. This one's not the case. This one has a very, very, very true roll. Okay, so now I'm not cutting my putts. I'm starting to pull them left a little bit. I think that's because of my feet also, but listen, it doesn't matter about me trying to be a better golfer. What matters is that feel is a 10 out of 10. That roll is a 10 out of 10. That is phenomenal. I have not felt a golf ball like that in a very, very long time. Wowzers, that's all I can say. That is just incredible. Come on, be the same, baby. Okay, so a slight firm press, a little kiss, mwah, for sound, a click, but still that buttery feel. I love it. Let's keep it going now. That was actually mishit. It would be nice if I could get one in the hole, maybe. Nope, pushed it. That's all right. Still really good. Be good. Okay, so I'm starting to pull them a little left now that I'm trying this new swing. It is what it is, but you know what? Again, 10 out of 10 on the roll, 10 out of 10 on the feel. It's just, now it's got that firm press. It's clicky, but it's so close to the Z-Star. Both of them are just great. Come on, be perfect. That's what I've been waiting on, baby. Now we got our blade with the regular Z-Star. Okay, so I kind of drug my putter a little bit, but wow, still good. So this actually feels like how the XV feels with the mallet. Now there's that mwah kiss, there's that butteriness still, but it has a little bit more sound and feedback because it's a blade putter. So that's kind of interesting. I'm interested to see how the other one does. Oh wow, just so buttery. I keep using my wrist. I gotta quit doing that. Either way, that's just so great. I don't need to see any more. 10 out of 10 again. Wow. All right, so interested how the XV is going to do because, you know, it was a little firmer with the mallet, so I wonder if now it's going to be crossing into a territory here. That's the first time I've seen any amount of chug effect, and it was so tiny, and I mishit it, so who cares? I absolutely crushed it, and I mean, still, the feel's there, everything. I mean, don't disregard my terrible putting because I'm learning this new stroke, but wow, just so buttery. There's no click. This one almost doesn't. I don't know how they did it, guys. I really don't. I don't know how they did it. Again, 10 out of 10 across the board. All right, I mean, I have not seen a negative out here yet other than my putting, but that ain't got nothing to do with the golf ball. These are the tops right now. Let's see if we can finish strong. Oh, I caught a little bit of the green. Oh, still really good though. Guys, we have our first, maybe ever, perfect greenside performance. In all honesty, putter, everything's a 10 out of 10 across the board. I mean it. I'm so impressed. Wow, good job, Srixon. Seriously. Last year, I called you out. I said really hurtful, mean things about you because, well, you kind of deserved it. I mean, you firmed it up. It was terrible. I didn't like it at all. What you've done this year with these changes for 2025, God bless you guys, seriously. That's amazing. 10 out of 10 performance on the green, 10 out of 10 performance with the chipping. I'm so sorry, it is so bright out here. 10 out of 10 performance with, you know, the spin and the feel and the butteriness. I'm just so impressed how they've able to get such a consistent feel and performance across all three models of golf ball, despite them being for different golfers. We will see. If I get into these performance numbers here in a second, and they are all different, and it's like they are all for different golfers, and you know, one's for fast, one's for intermediate, and those numbers add up to that, I'm going to be blown away because they feel like the same golf ball. If you close your eyes, you almost can't tell. Just incredible, seriously. Let's get over to the sound and feel. Okay. Got a little sound and feel here, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Little 7-iron in my hands. Let's rock and roll. Oh! That was nice. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Let's run it back. Let me know, slight miss hit, let me know, but I'll tell you what. I'll have more analysis on that in just a second. Let's go ahead and move into the XV. I hope that this one performs well also. Again, slight miss hits, let me know. It's so amazing. It's buttery. I'll be real with you. It's amazing. I'm flabbergasted. This is one of the best feeling golf balls I have felt of the year so far, and so far both of them have been just this level of crispness. It's not bouncy ball. It's not like boing, but it's like power. It's like as soon as I hit it, it's just, and I just, oh man, it gives you such a great feeling. And even miss hits will do it 80 to 90% of the way, but kind of lets you know like, hey, you can do a little better, buddy. But that's awesome. There's a lot of power behind that golf ball. I mean, guys, we're on a roll here. Let's just keep it going. This is the diamond. This is not supposed to be for me. Let's see. Okay, little firmer, little heavier. Makes sense, that's how it should be, but wow, it still feels good. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that has some firmness to it. That does feel like something that might be a little too firm for me, but it's still so close to the other two. It's just a slight, maybe a step up firmer. That's all it is. It still feels great though. I mean, if you're a little bit faster swinger than me, if you swing like maybe 105 or something, I think you're gonna love this. Guys, I'm just really impressed. I just cannot believe how they've kept the same feel pretty much in this little box throughout the whole thing. If you like the feel of one of these, you're gonna like the feel throughout all of them. And I'm just so impressed, I really am. I'm just so tickled that Srixon has come back in this way, because last year, like I said, I was very harsh on them, and this year, all you Srixon fanboys have been like, oh, you gotta try the new one, it's better. And I'll be honest, every time I see that, I roll my eyes. So far, I don't have any negatives. I mean, from design to green to this, there are no negatives. I really pray and hope that these golf balls have amazing performing numbers, because if they do, we could be looking at a near perfect performance. We're looking at a golf ball that has potential to be top 3, top 2 this year, which for a tour ball, a AAA tour ball, would be unheard of on Golf Ball Addict. But this might be deserving of it. So let's get to those. Without further ado, let's get to those performance numbers and let's see how we did. I'm hoping for the best. Without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start with the 50-yard pitch backspin. We are looking at the Z-Star regular 8279. We are looking at 8079 and then 8274. All of those, so the XV is just average, but the other two are well above average. That's going to have a ton of rip back, and with the spin skin technology that Srixon offers, whoop, it's going to come back right at you. You're going to see some bass effect on the green. I love it. So I did actually put the launch angle there as well, and the reason I did that is I did kind of want you guys to see, because these golf balls did launch significantly different. You know, the XV, if I remember correctly, I was having issues doing my 50-yard pitch, it would go over the net. And I've never seen that before. And it happened 3 times. And I'm like, did I move my net? I'm like looking around. Did I move my mat? No, it just wanted to get up. It wanted to launch really high. I don't know why, but it just did. Great numbers across the board there. All those, the XV checks the box. The other 2 are, so let's keep going. Pitching wedge, we are looking at 124.4, 121.8, 122.7, which is exactly what we just talked about. Way better than average, and then above average. So really good there. There's your totals. I do see that I actually swung really fast with the XV, and I still only got average. So that firm compression's really coming into play there with the pitching wedge. Ball speed, everything is pretty close, but that regular Z-Star, I really jumped off the club a lot. That 97.9 is fantastic. Love to see that. And then when you look at spin, the Z-Star, I did only get average spin with it, but it still checks the box, but I got a little bit extra distance. Then you go to the XV, that's above average, 72.44, and then the Diamond, that is just straight up bonkers. That is some really heavy pullback once it hits the green. So that's awesome as well. I'm gaining distance and I have a ton of spin. So that Diamond really is playing in right now. That's surprising, but it's a good surprise. Smash factors, the XV didn't really, do that well there, obviously. But the other 2 did great. And then launch angle, we have 25.8, which is high, 26.2, which is very high, and then 24.5 is actually a mid. It could launch low for some of you, but that's actually a mid. So interesting there. I don't really see anything bad. Now, some of you might look at the XV numbers and be like, well, those were average. Well, right, but you got to remember the 102 compression. Let's be real for a second. That golf ball probably isn't for the average swinger. It's probably for your 110, 115 mile an hour guy just, ripping it, 320, 300, it's not for us. And so the fact that I'm even getting average numbers with it is actually kind of impressive. It really is. Usually with golf balls like this, despite it still feeling soft, it's different, right? It doesn't feel like 102 compression, but I usually get, -3 yards, -4 yards, terrible forgiveness, awful forgiveness. Not the case here. It's just average, and so I'll take it. Then we get into the 7-iron, and we are looking at 164, 163.1, and 164.2. All 3 of those are above average. The 163 is close and borderline, but still, that's the XV. Then we get into the swing speed, and the Diamond's really impressive there. The Diamond had the best distance total, but it has the lowest swing speed average. So that Diamond is really putting up a fight here. I love the ball speed for all 3. All 3's above average. 56.87, 57.90, and 56.56 are all above average for spin. So again, above average distance, above average ball speed, and above average spin for all 3. Incredible. All 3 of those, smash factors, the XV's a little lower. And the other 2 are, well, actually, you can see there by that, it's just basically an order: red, yellow, green. And then with the regular Z-Star, we have a 19.5, that is a high launch. Then we have an 18.8, which is a mid-high launch. And then we have an 18.1, which is a mid-launch. So they do all launch differently. That seems to be the main difference between the 3 right now. Obviously, you have the XV that's, for faster swingers. But when it comes to the other 2, it's really close to the same golf ball. They actually have the same number of dimples. I don't know if you caught that earlier during the beginning where I showed that chart, but they all have the same number of dimples. So it's really about just ball flight. That's what it is. Do you want a mid flight? Do you want a high flight? Kind of interesting here. Let's top it off with the driver. Here we go. This is the make or break. All right, so carry there. We'll just do total distance, 234.1, 239.1, 238.8. The Z-Star is just slightly below average, but on total rollout, not on carry. So it probably has a little bit more spin pack in. The Diamond is just ridiculous, and so is the XV. The XV is supposed to be long off the driver. It is. I gained 4 yards from my average, so that's good to see. Swing speed there, as you can see, relatively close for all 3. Ball speed for the regular Z-Star, not as good, 139.4, a little higher on the spin there as well, and then 141.6, 141.2. Those are all above average. Those are great numbers. Spin are all right there, kind of in the average medium range. And then launch, smash factor, that 1.47 from the XV, so that really shows you that it is for faster swingers. Once I got up to 97 mile an hour and I'm hitting it with a big club like the driver, now the golf ball's compressing more, and boom, there it goes, baby. All right, so 18.7 on your launch, 18.6, and 17.8. So we have high, and mid. You know, again, just the difference seems to be in the launch angle. What's really surprising about all this so far is the diamond. I mean, did I think it had a chance to be average and hold its own? Sure, of course. But to be eye-popping and for me, just as an average Joe, to be able to put up numbers like this and just be able, I mean, it's hard to find any negatives. You know, I'm like looking at the spin and I'm like, oh, ridiculous spin. Oh, ridiculous distance. Oh, yeah, oh, ridiculous ball speed. And I'm like, ooh, nice ball flight. And I'm like, everything's really optimal. Like that's kind of the standout right now. And it's definitely the big surprise from this one. So yeah, let's get into some dispersion and accuracy. Now, real quick, I did do a how far will it go for all three of these. They all basically hit exactly the same. They all got over 250. All these golf balls have a lot of pop potential. It's nice. Now, I will admit the Z-Star, the regular, was harder to get up to 250. I had to take like 10 to 15 hacks with that. But the other two, it almost took like 1 or 2 tries. It was nothing. So a lot of pop there. These golf balls will go a long, long way, and they do have some pretty low spin despite that. All right, we're going to start with the Z-Star here when it comes to the accuracy and dispersion, and as you can see, a 50-yard pitch is kind of all over the place. This is definitely a golf ball that it's consistently a circle, which is good, but I mean, I would rather them all be right down the line, and there's also some distance issues as well, as you can see. It's average, you know, that's the nice way to put it. Then we get into the pitching wedge, and my goodness gracious, you know, take away that one left one that it looks like I might have pull drawed. The other ones are just awesome. I mean, they are just tick, 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 tick. It almost makes a little plus in the middle there. That's awesome dispersion. Then we get into the 7, and as you can see, this is where tour balls kind of come into play. There's like 6 on top that like I really hit well, and I pured, and I got that distance out of, and then the other ones I might have lost a little bit, probably because of forgiveness. Maybe just they weren't pured. What I really notice about that, though, is that for the most part, it's pretty accurate. I mean, if that was a green, you know, that would be pretty close. So again, it's not fantastic, but it definitely is average, which is good. And then if you get into the driver, I gotta say, I like that. I mean, that's all fairway, and there's one that's really long, and then actually most of them are pretty consistent with the distance there. So that's fantastic. You know, most of that's just average, which, you know, hey, if it ticks the box, that's fine. But the driver is really impressive. Like all those are fairway finders, and I mean, one of them's even a nice little like swamp donkey straight down the straight fairway. Like I'd love that. I wouldn't be able to find it. I'd be like, yeah, I didn't find it, and I'd find it up by the green. That's my favorite type of miss hit right there. Okay, so the XV, yeah, boy, that 50-yard pitch, you know, again, because the compression is higher, you know, if you do slightly miss-hit it, especially on a 50-yard pitch, you can see the distance difference. Pure ones are going, you know, up there to the top 3 dots. Then you got, you know, some okay ones right there in the middle too, and then you've got a lot of short ones. Most likely that's just inconsistency from, you know, my swing, but still, like, that's why it's really important with the XV that you are a fast swinger and you're also a really, really good golfer. Getting into the pitching wedge, though, those are all fine. They pass. There's a couple short, but I mean, that's actually really good, to be honest. Then you get into the 7, you know, there is a pull there, or I mean a push, excuse me, that you can just take away, but look at the other dots. I mean, there's a lot there that are really, really, really close, and so I don't mind that. It just looks like there was a loss in distance on quite a few of them, because when you mishit it, that firmness, it is going to punish you a little bit. And so that's the difference between being pin high and being kind of short of the green up on the front there, as you can see. So it's okay, but you know, there's not a lot of forgiveness here. It's just too firm of a golf ball, and it's not meant for us. But then we get into the driver, and then it all starts to make sense. I mean, take away those 3 pulls. You know, the pull one that you can see the line on there is just awful. But look at the, you know, 7 that I have there in a little bunch. I mean, you know, that's all really consistent, really there. You know, yeah, if I close the face a little bit, it's going to move. Of course it is. It's an advanced golf ball. But the fact that I still got, you know, 7 out of 10 right there in the center of the fairway, I love to see that. So that's really, really good. All right. Last but not least, we're moving on to the diamond. All right, and finally, there we go. That's what a 50-yard pitch is supposed to look like. I mean, really controlled, you know, bam, 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 all in a straight line, exactly where my target was. I love to see that. There is a little bit of distance disparity, but not as bad as the other two, actually. I tell you what, this diamond, it wants to make its name known. It wants to be recognized at the party, I can tell you that. Getting into the pitching wedge, I did have one I pushed, it looks like, but other than that, the rest of them are excellent, especially on that. I do see some distance disparity there. It looks like it's not as forgiving, but you know, these golf balls are not about forgiveness. Let's just be real. They're not. 7-iron, actually, there's a lot of accuracy there. I mean, if you take away that top right one and that far left one, you've got 8 out of 10 just sitting right there in the middle, just, I mean, darts, straight up. I love to see it. And then if we look at the driver, so the driver, as you can see, there's a lot of distance disparity. So if you don't hit it 100% pure, you are going to lose a little bit of yards. But Look at the accuracy though. I mean, that is all just straight up. Even my pull, you look at the far left bottom corner over there, you can see a dot on the circle. That's a pull, and that's still basically, center left fairway. So that's awesome. I would call the accuracy a 5 out of 5. That's awesome, really it is. Distance disparities, probably, a 3 out of 5, but that's just it just comes with the territory, right? Because tour golf balls are not meant to be ultra forgiving. They're just not. And I'm really just impressed that these golf balls even hold their own. The fact that they get by and they have some level of forgiveness, I'll take. I mean, really. So I could absolutely play any of those balls. The XV, I'd be a little nervous. I might have a little club shake just because it is a little more inconsistent than the others. It's not for me. But the other two, the regular Z-Star and especially the Diamond, I'd be a little cocky. I'd be pretty confident, to be honest with you. I mean, everything's in the fairway. Everything's on the green. I'm not sure what else you can ask for. Fairway and green, isn't that the kind of the whole point? Well, the hole's probably the point, but you know what I mean. Let's get into durability. And let's start with the regular Z-Star. Looking at this one, this is excellent. Really good to see. I cleaned it up a little bit. You can see some wear marks, but they're not scuffs. You can't feel them. There's a couple over here that are by the Srixon logo on the white side. You can kind of see them, but they don't really feel. You can't, they don't affect putting. I would easily call that a 9.5 out of 10. We don't do halves. We're going to bump it up to a 10 out of 10. That's really good. Seriously. I mean, the fact that this went 80 shots and, if I close my eyes and feel it, I can't feel any abrasions. And the other big thing is when I put it back with the others to see, I could find out which one I hit, because my rule usually is if I can't see which one I tested, then it's a 10 out of 10. But this one, it did take me a couple minutes. I had to really look. I had to actually get one of these lights and put it in front and see. And so to me, that's perfect. What else could you ask for? Srixon has had some really good durability for the last couple of years, especially from my test. Same thing here. Really, really good. 10 out of 10. XV time. Here we go. As you can see, there is some chips. There is some, little bit dots taken out of the golf ball a little bit. I do feel that. I do feel the abrasion coming around. I feel a couple tiny ones. Not bad. Mostly good. I'm looking, that's still really good. I have no problem calling that an 8 out of 10. I really don't. The only reason it gets an 8 out of 9 is because on the front there, you do see all those little tiny chips. That is an issue. So 8 out of 10 does seem appropriate. Then we get into the Diamond. Looking at the Diamond here. Okay, so we have a scuff. We have, a little bit of, some scrape there, not bad. Okay, some golf balls coming up there. Ooh, on the side here next to that, you can see where the 4 is. That's really torn up. I can feel that. Definitely couldn't putt it anymore. So that's probably a 7 out of 10. All right, so, 10 out of 10 with the regular Z-Star. Really great performance. 8 out of 10 with the XV and 7 out of 10 with the Diamond. All those pass. It is what it is. I mean, when you're buying a tour ball, I do expect at minimum a 7 out of 10. That just kind of checks the box. But the fact that you can go a whole round, that's all I ever go anyway. So it gets the job done. The 10 out of 10 is really impressive, though. So that's good to see. So again, nothing negative here. I really love to see that a lot. Final thoughts. I'm so happy for Srixon. I really am. And I'm happy for all of you Srixon fanboys. I really am, because a lot of you really come to the channel and, you pound the table for them and say, oh, their golf balls are amazing. They're so underrated. How come you didn't have them in your top 5? How come you didn't? And, I've really been upset with Srixon. To me, Srixon was the girlfriend that got with my best friend. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is just, I felt like they had this great product that I was in love with. They completely changed it all, and the numbers went from, hey, top 5 to bottom 10. And we're talking on a list of 100 golf balls. So we're not talking like, oh, it went from 2 to 7. We're talking it went from top 5 to 95, and I was really upset, and rightfully so. They changed their Q-Star Tour, and I didn't like it. And I haven't been happy with what they've been doing. And the reality is that they have made some changes this year, and, whatever the reason is, the test is awesome. I really enjoyed testing these golf balls. I had an absolute blast every time I was testing, especially with the Diamond, especially with the regular Z-Star, just, my face getting bright, looking at the numbers. Oh man, how far can this thing go? Watching the spin on the green, feeling it with the putter. It has been a while since I've had this much fun with a review, and you got to give credit where credit's due, and what Srixon has done this year with the Ulti Speed, which is still just one of my favorite golf balls I've tested in a while. But now you pair it with 3 excellent tour balls. This might be Srixon's year. It really might be. There's 2 of these golf balls for sure that could end up very, very high on our list this year for the top 100. How high? I don't know. So who are these golf balls for? Well, I would say 10 handicap or lower for sure, because there is still some left and right. There's not forgiveness there. If you're over a 10 handicap, you need to be focusing on pars. So I still wouldn't recommend this for anybody over a 10 handicap. I just wouldn't. But if you swing 90 or higher, maybe 85. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me. Maybe 85. I'm going to say 90. If you swing 90 or higher, the regular Z-Star is definitely an option for you. The XV, I would say at least 100 to 105 minimum. It's very firm. I would say 105 just to make sure you're maximizing it. And that's because when it comes to the diamond, I would say 95 or higher with the diamond, and just depending on what kind of ball flight you need. But if you fit that category, if you want a really good tour ball that you can do buy 2, get 1 free and get it for that great price, you got to give them a try. You really do. I was super impressed, and this is a golf ball I would game. Absolutely. When you guys ask me all the time, hey, if price wasn't an issue, what golf ball would you game? I have to put a couple of these on the list. I do. They would get really good consideration from me. So I'm happy. I hope you guys are happy. Also, I do have trial packs because I did buy dozens of these. So there are trial packs available on my eBay page. You can click the link tree in my description. And then I have some trial packs where you can get 1 sleeve of each. So if you're interested in trying all 3, you can do that. That way you don't have to buy 3 dozen, even though I know they're running the great special right now. But it just might save you a little bit of money to try them. It also helps the channel out. Guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Until next time, I'll see you soon.